It is day 5 now. I have been busy all day and I've not really been thinking, so I haven't reported anything other than gym. And that also means I haven't had time to plan out the things that I'm going to be doing in here today, but I'm going to do back and then a little bit of rear delts. And I'm just going to wing it by every single movement that I do. So we're going to start with pullovers just to get some blood in the back because that's something that I like to do to warm up a little bit. And then I don't know where we're going to go from after that. We're just going to find out as we do it. Oh, it's really hot in here today. It's a lot later than I usually come, so it's later in the day and the sun's been hitting the building the whole entire time, so it feels like I'm in a sauna right now. But just off of that first set, I can tell it's going to be a pretty decent back day because I can feel it quite a bit. I can also tell that there's probably, I'm going to gas out a lot sooner than I want to, but look what I got today. We actually brought it, so hopefully we won't have any issues like that, like we've been having the past couple days. But yeah, I don't really know what to say. It's been a busy day. I've eaten all my meals. I've had no issues with my meals. I woke up a little bit late because I didn't get that great of sleep last night, but other than that, everything's been pretty well on track today. Pretty much the only thing I've been looking forward to is doing this all day. So kind of running a blank on everything else. I kind of dissociate a lot of my day when I'm like really busy. Pretty much all I did was edit and post the video that I have up for today that I did yesterday. So that's really all I got. But this will probably be a nice, quick, easy video. Probably a lot shorter than the other ones just because it's going to be gym session only. And we might have that happen often on weekends. Like I said, weekends are just hard for me to kind of regulate a schedule because it's just so different from every day in the weekday where I have certain things that kind of hold me to a schedule, like my therapist appointments or psychiatrist or any like client check-ins, client calls, all those kind of things keep me on a structure throughout the whole week. And those are things that I don't do at all on the weekend. So, I don't know why I have to explain myself. I feel like I have to explain myself, like I feel bad about it, but I highly doubt it matters that much. I think I'm going to do another quick warm-up set of these. Um, all right. Warm-up number 2. All right. Definitely got plenty of blood in the back now. Thing I'm debating between is there's a single arm plate loaded Nautilus pull down machine that I really like here. So I don't know if I want to do that or if I want to try to do something like bent over barbell rows. I know that I won't be able to go very heavy in bent over barbell rows, but I feel like it'd be fun. So I'm just kind of trying to decide between those two things. Usually if I don't come in here with a plan, I end up looking at like 5 or 6 different machines that look like fun to me. And then I get overwhelmed and I get, decision paralysis. So let's just make the decision. We're going to go do bent over barbell rows now. I faked y'all out. We're not doing that. We're going to be doing these. Couple reasons. Number one, some D-bag didn't put the weights away. Shit pisses me off. Number two, somebody's on the barbell, so can't use that. But this is already preloaded for me because people are inconsiderate and they don't take care of the gym equipment like they're supposed to. So we're just going to go ahead and use it that way. But probably my favorite machine for back that I've ever used. I just feel it really well. You can do supinate, neutral, pronated grip. It doesn't really matter. Kind of depends on you. But if you find yourself in a gym that has one of these, I guarantee you it's going to be your favorite back equipment you've ever used. Though I don't see them often. And this is a heavier compound movement, so I'll probably go ahead and do 2 sets of 6 to 8, maybe 10 to 12. I don't know yet. I really don't know how to gauge what I'm going to be able to handle as far as back goes right now, because it's been a really long time since I've done it. But I'm trying to not set my expectations a little bit too high. I want to do a lot of different things for back because it's really fun to train. So I feel like I have to minimize the amount of sets that I do at each movement so that I can do multiple different machines. So this will be just a warm-up set, and then we'll move into like 2 working sets. Then we'll go ahead and maybe I'll still do bent over barbell rows if I'm feeling it after this. I accidentally did more reps than I should have for a warm-up, but oops. All right, time to move up for working set weight. I think it's heavy fast. Usually I'll do like 4 or 5. Probably gonna just do 3 though today. Something I figured out too by watching TikToks is some of you gym influencer people don't know how to count sets. If your coach tells you to do 3 sets, you think that a warm-up set counts as a set. It doesn't. If you're doing warm-ups and feeders, that doesn't count. It doesn't count until you get to a working weight. A set isn't until you're failing at it. So if you're somebody that's like, well, my coach programmed 3 sets for me and it takes me 1 or 2 sets to warm up, so I only do 1 working set and then I'm done, you're doing it wrong. You're not supposed to count your warm-up sets. You're supposed to do, let's say, I just did 1 warm-up set there. I said I was going to do 2 working sets. That means I still have 2 more sets. Even though technically all together I did 3 sets, I am not counting the first one. For some reason I can't talk right now, so hopefully any of that made any sense at all. And I'm just I don't know what's going on today. My brain's definitely not working. I just had to strap up my water bottle so I could take a drink, I guess. I'm just fidgeting with everything right now. Pretty good energy, so we'll roll with it. These are just on for decoration, by the way. I'm not using them yet. We don't know if we'll need them yet. Ooh. I'd be 8. That's what I was expecting. That's a bummer. I thought I was lowballing myself with that, but no, we only got 8. Maybe because I put that expectation into my head before I even tried it, I might have hindered myself mentally there. Maybe I could have done 10 or 12 if I didn't already have that thought in my head before I had even started. So you could look at it that way. Or I'm just weak. That's probably both. It's probably both. There we go. 8 more. Ooh. Hold on. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot harder to get through than the last couple days. Good thing is though, I'm not doing legs again until next Wednesday, so that gives me plenty of time to eat a little bit more food, fill out a little bit more, get my energy and everything back up, and possibly build a little bit more endurance before I actually hit that. Plus right now, the leg day that my coach has programmed for me with the lung issues that I've been having, it's pretty moderate. I'm pretty sure it's just seated hammy curls, and then I'll go into single leg press, then leg extensions, then adductors, and then I believe like 1 movement for calves. So there's like hardly anything going on in that day anyways, for now. So I'm not too stressed about it. I'm hoping that I only need to run this split that my coach has programmed for me for like a week or 2, and then I can get back into real legit failure training. You know, more movements, actually pushing myself, being able to go to failure every set like I typically like to do. But I think 2 weeks might be wishful thinking. I'm gonna just see what he says every time I send in check-ins and just take it day by day. But man, I'd really like to get back under a squat bar, because it's been a really long time since I've squat, and I really miss it. It's like the most fulfilling thing that I've ever felt in the gym with any movement at all, because it's the one that I notice the most progress with. It's the one that it's my absolute strongest one, so it just gives me some sort of like feeling. Okay, last set, and then I don't know if I'm gonna do bent over barbell rows, to be honest. I'm pretty gassed out already, so we're just gonna see what happens after this one. Yeah, this is hard on me for breathing. I don't know, bitch. I'm not quitting on that. Man, it's crazy how much oxygen the muscle requires. I don't think people think about that a lot. Like the fatigue is ridiculous with this. I know before I finally started training, like, before I went to the doctor and got the asthma stuff figured out and figured out that there was stuff wrong with my lungs, I just thought that I was out of shape. I thought that I had low endurance, so I was still pushing myself in the gym a lot more than I was supposed to. And I wasn't getting any pumps. I wasn't getting any stronger. I wasn't looking any better. Actually, things were getting a lot worse over time. And the reason is because the oxygen that you're getting in is just so important. It's important to everything. You need it. So obviously, if I'm not getting a good amount of oxygen in my lungs, if I'm not breathing properly, if I'm having labored breathing or, having any issues like that, it's going to hinder the whole entire workout. So when I dropped volume with my recent split, when my coach dropped my volume and we've been doing things a little bit easier, I've noticed that I've been getting pumps a lot better. The training's been feeling better. It's just really frustrating mentally because I'm just not able to push myself the way that I was supposed to, or the way that I used to, I guess. So I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird setback to have. I'm sure it's similar to a lot of people when they come back from like a really bad injury. They feel a lot weaker. They feel a lot less capable of things that they're like used to be able to do. So that's kind of how this all feels for me. But last set, left side, I don't actually know how many reps I got on the right side. So I'm just going to try to get 8 because I feel like I took a little bit longer of a break than I was supposed to anyways at this point. So I should be able to do it. Man, dude, I'm not breathing well for this. Back is a much bigger muscle group than arms and chest, so I slightly expected this, but not to this extent. Not after the first movement, man. That's not fair. I've done one back exercise, and I already feel like I've done a whole entire workout plus some. I feel like I just did a full back day with 6 movements and 30 minutes of cardio. I'm not taking enough of a break before I rack these weights either. I'm getting a little bit too eager to move on to the next thing, which I haven't even fully decided what the next thing is. Sit here and think about it. We're computing. Fuck it. I'm gonna do bent over barbell rows if it's free. Wanna know why? Because I ain't no bitch. I'm not letting my coal miner lungs get in the way of a good time. So, I guess somebody's still on it. Okay, we will do cable rows. We'll do cable rows. I lied again. I did not tell the truth. I'm gonna do this one. Told you, there's so much good stuff in this one, in this gym, that it's kind of hard to be decisive when you come in here without a plan. You don't already know all the movements that you're going to be doing. There's so many things that are going to catch your attention. You'd rather do that instead. And this one's a lot of fun. I feel this one pretty good. I typically do this one unilateral, but since the first movement that I did was unilateral, we're going to do this one bilaterally, which I guess I haven't explained this in past videos, so it's probably something beneficial to say at this point. Unilateral means one at a time. So if I'm doing single arm curls like this, that's a unilateral movement. single triceps, single pulls, single press, whatever. That's all unilateral movements. Bilateral is both, so both. So that means we're moving both things at the same time. Rows, bilateral for biceps, triceps, it's all the same thing. So it just means one or two. But with this one, we'll do bilateral. This one gets pretty heavy fast too. This is definitely another really heavy movement. So we're looking at another thing that we're gonna be doing 2 sets with. So by the time I'm done with this, I'll probably move on to something cable related so that we can get, a little bit more of like an accessory lift in. And then if I'm feeling it, I'll try to do bent over barbell rows as a finisher for back. And then we'll move on to one rear delt movement. That kind of sounds like it's good to me in my head right now. So I think that's going to be the plan that we execute for the rest of this workout. So that way I'm not just wandering around with my head cut off in the gym. Would I call that a warm-up set? That was too light. I would definitely like to do heavier than that. I'm not gonna lie, I almost just decided to do the full set there with that weight, but I'd have been cheating myself. I wouldn't have been doing anything for anybody. So, because I noticed it, and I noticed when it happened in my head, I was on rep 4, and I was like, you know what? I could probably just do like 8 to 10 on here and call it a set. Stay at 2 plates, but we're gonna argue against that. That's not how you push yourself. You don't limit yourself on purpose like that. We're gonna call that an intrusive thought. We're gonna disregard it, and we're gonna go up in weight, and we're gonna do real working sets. So I'm trying to I'm not trying to give you guys advice. I keep almost giving you advice, then I realize it's not good advice. What I'm doing right now, having not eaten or been to the gym in a long time, being extremely downsized and everything, training to failure like I'm doing is not smart. You're supposed to ease back into it. Like I said, my coach right now, he has my program set for 3 RIR. I'm not even supposed to be going to failure, but my mind just doesn't work that way. So I want to push myself, and I feel like if I feel really good and motivated to push myself, I should just do it anyways and not put it off, because that could accidentally become a really bad habit, and I definitely don't want that to be a habit where I just kind of cut corners in my workouts and stuff. That's not the kind of person I am. So we're going to make sure that that's not something that develops. All right, first set. That's heavy. I'm not pulling an inhaler out for that. We gotta pace ourselves. We got other things to do first. The last few reps of that were pretty sloppy, that's for sure. But I don't know, I was going for 8, and I just didn't feel like I'd be happy enough with that. I know that was about my failure point as far as actual executed reps go, but I just wasn't happy with that number. For some reason I felt compelled to push a little bit further, so that's what I did. Yeah, one more set of this, and then we'll do cables. Cables we're definitely gonna keep light. This is this is brutal. This is just kicking my ass. Hardcore. Oof. This is, it's dead in here, honestly. Like there's usually a lot more people here, but I guess it is a weekend, so everybody's, you know, they're out partying and drinking and doing whatever it is that people do on weekends. So we're not about that. But there's like, typically this gym has like almost somebody on every single piece of equipment. It's crazy. It gets really, really busy here, and this is a pretty decent sized gym, so this is peaceful. I will say, and it's going to show up in the editing because I haven't bought new mics yet, the music's too damn loud in here, so hopefully I can edit it out. But otherwise, enjoy some random gym music in the background, you know. Okay, catch our breath a little bit more, and then we will get into the final working set of this movement. Man, you know how I said I lose brain functionality when I've been training, usually at the end of my workout? For some reason on this day, it's it went after the first set of the first movement. I'm not thinking anymore. So all of this ramble talking that I'm doing is so unnecessary, but it's better than if I was just giving you guys like a bunch of dead silence in between every single set that I do. So plus, I don't know, this is fun. It's weird. It helps me regulate my training. It helps me pay more attention to my rest time. Like right there's a clock, so I'm kind of keeping my eye on that one so I don't start too soon. And then it kind of makes me feel like I'm lifting with a friend, and I don't usually lift with people. I'm a loner. I like to lift by myself. I don't really have lifting partners. Here and there I'll lift with my friends, but it's like once every couple of months kind of deal. It's definitely not something regular. I always come in here by myself, so this kind of is cool. Kind of makes me feel like I've got like a body double a little bit. I've got you guys in here with me. I've got somebody to chat with. Oh, okay. Set. Final set. Oh. Oh shit. Oh. Let's one more. We can do it. Ready? Cool. Cool, we did it. Just give me a minute. And then, I don't know, I'll move to the next thing. Ooh. Here's a good topic of conversation, I guess. This is pretty relevant right now. Today is the New York Pro. If you don't know, if you guys don't watch bodybuilding as much as I do, the New York Pro is one of the bigger pro shows out of the year. I would argue that it's probably the one that's second to the Arnold Classic Ohio. that's going on today. It's a pretty heavy hitting show. First and foremost, representing Team Hosstile, we've got Jacob in classic physique. He competed already today. Not exactly sure what his placing was. I did miss the finals on that one, but he brought a really good package. It's his most improved physique yet. If I'm not mistaken, this was his pro debut as well, so that's an incredible thing to be able to achieve. And then we've got Ashley, who's figure pro, doing the New York Pro. I know she's in first call-outs, but from what I saw, I believe she's looking at somewhere between third and fourth place. I'm not 100% sure on that. Brought a phenomenal package too, much improved from the last show that she did just a couple weeks ago. So that was really cool to see. Top 4 right now in open bodybuilding looks to be Nick Walker, Martin Fitzwater, Tony O'Burton. Oh man, I can't remember who was up in that fourth place call out. For some reason, I'm just completely blanking it at the moment. But everybody, it's Stu Sutherland. Everybody looks really good. Honestly, the finals haven't happened yet for that, but I would put a lot of confidence in the fact that Nick is probably going to take this one. I think that like Martin came up next to him looking really good. The thing is, I'm watching this on live stream, and things are a lot different when you're in person. You can't see thickness and density the same as when you're in person and those guys are on stage right in front of you. And I would believe that Nick has a lot more of that than Martin, but Martin looks really good. It's kind of a cool little rematch that they're kind of having because they both got their pro card at the same show, and they both won their classes, and Nick ended up taking overall, whereas Martin got second place in the overall. So I think that's the last time they stepped on stage next to each other. So that's a really cool thing to come back around and see after a while. Quentin Araya looked really good. It looks like he's not going to be placing great though. Like he's in the second call outs, but honestly with him, it's just a time thing. He's really young. He's tall like me, so he's got a large frame. And when you're a taller bodybuilder like that, it takes a lot more time to fill out all of your muscle bellies and look like a more complete thick bodybuilder. So when you're standing next to guys that are like 5'6", 260 to 280 pounds on stage, you're going to look a little bit leaner and more narrow than them, and that's going to hurt you on stage. But it just would matter of time before he actually makes big moves in that. But let's go ahead and move on. Despite it not being very busy in here, both the barbell row and the cable row were taken at the moment. So I decided, because I am so gassed out, I don't have a lot of endurance, and I'm feeling pretty burnt out, I'm going to take a break from the big muscle group movements, and we're just going to go ahead and do our rear delt movement now. I'm going to do 2 sets of this, probably 15 reps. This is I don't know what this is called. I know that there's people that do this movement. I just don't know what it's called, but it's for rear delts. I'll try to explain it as I do it. But basically, you have your dumbbells. You're going to want to sit at the edge of the bench like this. Round your back, hunch over like this, and tuck your chin a little bit. So you're leaning over yourself. And then with the pronated grip, you're going to go up like this. Just like that. That's going to target your rear delts really well. And it is important to keep your chin tucked a little bit, because if you don't, then your traps are going to try to take over in that movement. It's kind of the same thing with the lateral raises that I was talking about in another video, where if you keep your neck up like this, your traps are going to take over a lot of the time. And the reason is because it's just such a dominant muscle group. Now, when you're training rear delts, it's a lot harder to engage your rear delts because they're such a small, non-dominant muscle group. The traps are going to try to take over in a lot of these kinds of movements, like anything you're doing for your rear delts. So you want to do what you can to keep the traps out of it so that you're actually targeting the correct muscle group. This is why a lot of people lack in the rear delts in amateur competitions, I believe, because they just don't actually know how to target them properly, whether it be a mind muscle connection issue, whether it be a form issue. It's just not an easy thing to target for most people, in my opinion, or at least my experience. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. We'll do it for 2 sets of 15, and then we'll do one more back movement, and we'll probably call it there, because this is killing me. I've been feeling the past 2 days of working out too, for sure. I haven't been doing it for a while, so my body's not used to being broken down like this. So tomorrow's going to be a rest day, which Sunday typically is anyways, a rest day for me. We're just going to, I don't know, I'm excited. Tomorrow's going to be like a really nice commercial break for me, like going into next week, which I've been looking forward to, because I'm going to actually be able to do my real split. It's not just going to be what I'm able to do that day because I haven't been in the gym in a while. It's going to be my legitimate split that my coach has written for me. So I'm really excited to get back into that. But for now, let's just keep doing what we're doing. Ooh. Remember, sit at the edge of it, like this. Lean over, tuck your chin. Ooh. Oh, man, I'm feeling that. Feeling that pretty good. Whew. Whew. Man, at what point am I gonna look in the mirror and be like, wow, I have my size back? Probably no point. I'm willing to bet my heaviest has been 255. I'm willing to bet I'm gonna get to 260. And I'm gonna look at myself in the mirror at 260, and I'm gonna be like, man, I wonder when I'm gonna look as good as I used to, or I wonder when I'm gonna finally like the way that I look. Just kind of how bodybuilding goes. But that's actually what my username was kind of originally made for, Art of Aesthetics. I try to separate my physique from like my emotional viewpoint of myself. Meaning, as a competitor, I don't want to be emotionally attached to the thing that's being judged, because that's going to cause for a lot of insecurity or self-doubt, self-hate. You know, it's going to just be a lot harder to it's a lot harder to take constructive criticism that way. If you're looking at it from, like, if you're taking things too personally. So Art of Aesthetics is kind of like, it's an art piece. Your aesthetics are your art piece. If you're looking at it as art, let's say you have an artist and they do drawings. There's so many different stages to drawings. Let's say you see that artist, they do a whole entire outline of this like crazy drawing that they're going to do. They have the outline, you can see all of the people, buildings, whatever it is that they're drawing. You're going to say, wow, that looks absolutely incredible. But it's at the very beginning stages. It's not even close to done yet. And they're going to tell you that. They're going to be like, no, I still have to do the shading and the coloring, and I have to do blending, blah, blah, blah. Like all these things that they think they still have to do with their drawing. And that just kind of goes to show that outer perspective of somebody that's looking at your piece of art. They're going to think it's incredible at any stage that you're in. But you in your head, you know where you're trying to take it. So when you know where you're trying to take it, and you take it too personally, you might be a little bit too hard on yourself. So, sorry, that's a really bad explanation. I used to explain it a little bit better, but the problem is I'm not thinking straight right now. That's hopefully that made a little bit of sense though. You're trying to separate yourself from your physique so that you can be more constructive in the criticism that you're taking from judges and everything, and you're not going to be so hard on yourself. And then also you're going to be able to recognize the accomplishments that you're making in yourself, like as if it's a drawing. Right now, I pretty much erased all of my drawing and then started outlining it again, because I'm restarting everything because I fell off track for a really long time. So I erased that drawing and I'm back into the outline. Right now, I'm sure the way that I look, my current outline is probably something that a lot of people would think is good. And I have to try to remind myself of that so that I'm not getting too self-critical. But oh man, it's all a journey. Let's do our last set of these rear delts, and we'll move on to one more back movement, and we'll call it a day. Whew. Man, it's a lot harder than it used to be. I say that a lot. It's just because it's true. All these things I'm doing right now, they felt a lot easier before, but let's move on. So that one's still taken. We're just gonna go ahead and do this pin loaded one. I like this one, it's not too bad, especially since this movement's gonna be a lot lighter. This isn't gonna be crazy heavy, push to failure kind of movement like the other ones. This is just gonna be nice, slow, put blood in the muscle, good little finisher. I'm feeling my back pretty good. It's got a good pump, so I'll feel it really well. And we'll just hit like 2 sets of this, and after that we'll be good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and do pronated grip on this one. That ended up being a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Man, I guess I feel my back good enough where it's burnt out. This is like a lot what I said. Wow, stroke. This is a lot of the same thing that I said in my other video when I was talking about doing chest. When you're doing the last movement of a muscle group for that session, it should feel like, I guess, what's the best way to word this? The muscle kind of stops working, and you start to feel secondary muscle groups recruiting to make up for the lack of power. So with this, on the last 2 reps that I did, felt a lot more bicep than I did my back. And the reason is because all of the first reps that I did, I was really concentrating on my back. I felt it really good. There wasn't a mind-muscle connection issue. My back is just fatigued from everything that I've done already. Even though we only did 2 movements, it's been a while since I've been in here. Like I was saying last time, the stimulus to fatigue is going to be a lot different getting started. So it doesn't take as much for me right now. I used to do like 4 to 5 back movements in an exercise, and then after that I would do like 2 bicep and 2 rear delt, and I could handle that kind of load. And we'll get back to that point, but right now we're just not there yet. It's about building muscular endurance over time. So that's also going to have a lot to do with eating food. We're only on like day 3 of really being able to eat, day 2 or 3 of really being able to eat. So it's not really that much of a shocker that I don't have a ton of energy yet, but I'm glad that it feels that way on my last movement, because I feel accomplished now in the gym. I feel like I did really good. I could have gone home beating myself up like, oh, I only did 2 back movements. Yeah, I was having a hard time breathing and this and that and whatever, but I should have tried to do more. I could have gotten in my head and overthought it and tried to be a perfectionist about it. But this reassures me that I definitely did what I need to do. I came in here and did what I need to do today. So let's hit this last set, and we'll go upstairs and do probably like a couple seconds of posing, because that's still something that my lungs aren't very good for right now. It's really hard for me to pose. I don't know why. I can do like 3 poses and I'm like toasted. So we'll probably do that, and then it'll be sayonara till tomorrow. Uh, uh, okay. We're cooked, guys. We're cooked. Good back day. That was a good one. I'll see y'all upstairs. All right. Made it upstairs. Let's see what we got. Shirt's a little sweaty. Might be delusional, but it's quite a bit of a difference from 2 days ago. Like just 2 days of eating and training and everything is, well, 3 now. Seems to have already made a little bit of a difference in how I look. Rear delt's popping right now. That's good to see. You know, the worst part about back poses is you can't actually see them until after you've done them and reported them. Oh, that might look really good. It might look really bad. Who knows? Like I said, probably do like 5 seconds of posing and call it, because that's tiring. Yep. And maybe over time we'll do more. And then when I get a little bit more of my size back, I'll start doing real bodybuilding posing and not just cringy influencer mirror posing like this, because I hate this kind of stuff. But I mean, not sure if you can tell, but I don't like being, I just don't want to be arrogant, and I don't want to be perceived as arrogant, is what I'm kind of getting at. So I don't like showing off my physique really in like public and stuff. Like social media is fine, obviously, because it's kind of what I do for a living, but when I go out in public or I'm training at the gym, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to be wearing big oversized shirts or hoodies, because I just kind of like to cover up. I don't want to really be looked at. So posing in front of people, for some reason it's different on stage, because I'm not thinking about the crowd or anything. I'm just thinking about like displaying my work. But posing in front of people is, like in a gym setting, is something that makes me uncomfortable, just for some weird reason. I don't really know why. So posing for YouTube, like I'm doing now, is just as much of a weird, like anxious thing that I'm trying to get over. So partially the reason why I don't pose for that long is because I'm anxious, and the other part is because endurance wise I can't handle it that much. So we'll get over that with time, and maybe I'll set something up in my house. I've got a couple empty rooms in my house. I could make an actual posing room in there, and maybe I'd feel a little bit more comfortable to do it. I'd be able to set the lighting the way that I like to. I'd be able to set the camera up somewhere where it's a lot better for you guys, because I know that this isn't necessarily ideal, and I need to get a camera in the first place, but I'm just going to be rocking with the phone for now because it's doing what it needs to do. But that concludes day 5. I think it's 5. I'm really looking forward to Monday. I will get a video out tomorrow as well. I'm going to be doing it every day, like I said, but I don't know. Pretty good solid back day. I feel like I did good today with my goals. I hope that you guys feel the same about yours. I hope you guys crushed your goals and did everything that you need to do. Like I said before, this is a journey of me getting back on track, and anybody that's following along with me trying to get back on track. I really hope that you've been doing the things that you need to be doing each day, because I know that it's really difficult. I know that it's something really hard to go through. Falling off track, getting back on is such a mind. I'm trying not to cuss that much because it sucks to edit out, but I've been getting lazy with it anyway. You know what I was going to say, mind F. Because all of the things that we do on a day-to-day basis when we're on track are things that are so second nature to us. Like, we're not even thinking about it. It's so subconscious. It's just things that we're naturally doing at that point. Naturally eating our meals on time, naturally going to the gym, naturally pushing ourselves because we're enjoying doing it as well. But it's something that we've been doing consistently for so long that we don't have to think that hard about it. When you've fallen off track from that, it's extremely hard to get back on track, because the things that used to be easy are so much harder now, and that messes with your head, and you start to doubt yourself, and you start to get mad at yourself, like, this is usually easy for you, why are you having so much trouble with this, whatever. It's just hard, man. It's hard to get back on track. So hopefully you guys have been doing good with that this week, because I believe I've had a pretty good solid week given the circumstances, and let's get ready to crush another week.